Hello everybody, this is Tony here with Ai2 Products again. We're going to do a pallet fork overview, if you want to call it. That's the correct term for it. Just kind of give us the highlights of the new style quick attach, because the video that most of you guys have been watching for the last several years was made 07, 08 range. I think that one was made. So the carriage, they kind of look very similar, but yet they're different. So we'll kind of get into that first with the carriage. The carriage on the old version was all 7 gauge. No, actually, never mind. See, I can't even remember what I made. But it was all 1/4 inch. The forks were all 7 gauge is what that was. But we'll get to that. So this carriage, compared to the old carriage, is still made all out of 1/4 inch steel plate. The old carriage on the top rail was what we called a Z plate, so it was kind of came straight down, formed back, and then it basically was like an offset bend is what it looked like. And then the bottom was a formed up channel that created the lower section of the forks, or of the lower fork rail. And then the way it was wider at the bottom, narrower at the top, so it created kind of our angle, because the forks are not mounted like just straight up and down here. Otherwise you won't get enough rollback. The way it is, you can see through here that the lower mount is set, so everything is actually angled a little bit, but you can't, if you make it straight up and down, you just lose all your rollback features. So this still gives you some rollback, but yet you got a balance between having enough rollback and having enough roll forward. So there's kind of a balance there. So this one is built very similar to the old one, but we got rid of the square tube, and the torque tube on the old one was part of the actual. So this is a 2-inch OD tube with a 145 thousandths wall thickness. I don't know what that would break down into a fractional number. I don't deal in fractions, so it's all decimals. But same tube, both sides. This is our torque tube that we had on the previous one that actually hung out here behind the mount, and that's what helps this carriage keep from twisting, because if this isn't in here, that the whole carriage will actually twist when you've got the forks all the way to the edge. So we don't like that, because it just puts a lot of strain on the carriage, it puts a lot of strain on the quick attach, and it just makes for an unhappy tractor. So yeah, you can see kind of the configuration here. We do put a rating on it and some safety stickers on it now that we never had before. I got a 600-pound rating on the carriage. You know, is it going to handle more? I think it will have no problem handling more, but the tractor's really only rated for about 550 pounds of lift, depending on how you're set up. But it'll handle basically anything this tractor will put to it. I've never had one of these carriages fail. I've never had one of these forks fail, so they've been pretty rock solid. So then we also went, because like I say, we got this tube to keep some standardization in the look. The top tube is the same as the torque tube here. Plus when this tube is inserted, it helps kind of just make sure all the mounts are lined up in the correct position. But everything tab fits. I don't know, you really can't see it that well on, yeah, you can't see it. If you could, you can see here where I hosed this one up. That's why we're using this one, because I forgot to plug weld across these on just this side. The other side is fine. But you can see how this plate passes through into that plate. So this is basically the gusset plate for the fork rail, and then now we've got the fork rail here, which is taller than the previous one, so it's actually stronger, and it tabs into the side plate as well. So now we've got a mechanical connection from this plate to this plate, plus it's welded right here in the seam, and the same at the bottom. So in all actuality, this not being filled in has no bearing on structural strength, because all it's doing is kind of covering that all up, and it does probably help a hair, but it's not a big deal. You get the idea of what we're talking about here. Now this plate and these plates, well, this one on the bottom is actually passing through. So these two are actually kind of passing together like this on the bottom, and it's all tied in. So everything is kind of interlocked and fit. So this tractor should not have enough power to tear one of these things apart. This is kind of the design we went with. It actually made the carriage lighter by eliminating some of the extra mass that it really didn't need. And it made it actually more, I was able to shift the forks back further than what they used to be. They used to be about actually an inch further ahead of what they are now. So by moving them back closer to the pivot point of the quick attach, we actually gain more lift capacity by doing it that way. So we kind of went over the basics of the pallet forks, or the carriage itself. Now we'll get into the fork and what's different about the fork, this fork from the previous one when we get between these things. It loads the same as the other one, it's center loading, that way they won't slide off the ends, so it's a safety thing. And that's pretty standard in the industry as far as pallet fork carriages. You don't see the old carriages anymore where it was just a set of rails and the forks would slide off the end. You don't see that too often. But that's basically why they're capped so you can't increase won't fall off. But this fork now, it's a whole new fork, a much better, heavier duty fork than the previous version. The old one was made all out of 7-gauge plate, and it was really, actually a very nice fork for its day. Nice and lightweight. It went together pretty well, but there was just a lot of pieces to it. It was kind of labor intensive to build. And had people that would bend them out in the field, so it's like, you know, we need something that's just sturdier, something that's more in line with this tractor. So I went with these forks. They're actually 3-inch wide, 1-inch thick, and then they're a 9.5-inch back. So they're actually on the short side, but and then they come without a mount. They're just blank. So there's nothing on the back. Then these parts are actually cut all out of 1/4 inch. The previous ones, like I said, were all 7-gauge. So now it's all 1/4 inch plate. You can kind of see they're plug welded to the side, through the front here. I mean, they're welded on pretty good. I've never had a set of these forks fail. And the big thing about them that makes them really nice is the fact that they are rated at 1,500 pounds for the set, so 750 pound piece. We'll load it back here in the middle, slide it to the side. As soon as you put some weight on these things, they lock right into place. So you don't have to worry about it once you got some weight on there that this thing's gonna shift around. Then the other thing too is if you put something on and you need to kind of tie it into place, that's what these are for. So if you've got something, you know, some guys get some crap on their forks or some stuff on their forks that's kind of tall and you're like, it's a little tippy, so you could actually put a ratchet strap in here, loop it around just to kind of hold it against the backstop. And that's what that design is, or why those holes are there, is just so you get some kind of a tie-down point. So yeah, let's go and put this on the scale so you can see the total weight of this beast. And you can kind of see how it comes on and off. I've got my own little goofy system for doing it. People ask me quite a bit, how does the quick attach work? And how do you line up with things? And believe it or not, I don't do it as much as you guys would think I do. Because I'm not taking attachments on and off all the time. So I've kind of got a system that I use, and I just stand up on the floorboard and I've got my safety switch disconnected because it used to kill when I was mowing the grass. If I back up too quick, it would actually shift my weight off and want to kill the motor, so I just jumpered it so it doesn't affect anything anymore. So here, we're gonna go put this on the scale so you guys can see it. It's just nice for people to see it when we put it on a pallet scale and you can actually see how much it weighs. Because in an upcoming video we're going to actually put some weight on that scale and see what she'll lift total. And then we're going to do an upgrade kit to hydraulics, the relief valve. So that's a upcoming video, or to be seen, coming up here pretty soon. So yeah, that's the basics of the forks. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or email me at tony@bxattachments.com, or you give us a call at the shop at 320-331-1055. Check us out on Facebook, shoot me a message. whatever works best for you. I'm more than willing to sit and jabber with somebody on the phone for as long as it takes to to answer whatever questions about the tractor, the accessories, basically anything. And I say, stay tuned for more videos we're going to be doing. It's going to be more install videos, modifications you can do to the tractor, kinds of cool stuff that Kubota guys will really like. So subscribe to YouTube, make sure you like our videos, because we're like cool. And yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up there, and thank you for watching. We'll see you. The carriage was all storage, freaking plate. Anyway, I get back up.